Hey guys, today we are going to test the Azure Swordman's memory Eugeo skill. If you have watched my previous videos on defense scaling skill tests or the Shield of Loyalty Kizmel, you should know by now how the skill works. So today's focus is more on how we can maximize the damage from these skills. And we're talking about this kind of damage. So before we begin, please like, share and subscribe, and click the notification button to receive the notifications from my channel. First thing first, if you have not watched my previous video about the defense scaling skill, please do check it out, and I will add the link in the description below for more details, tests and explanations. So we'll start with the setup on the equipments and the skills. So for the equipments, I will have the sword that has all 3 defense bonus in there, so I don't have it maximized out because my third bonus is still under 15 bonus, but it's good enough for now. And we'll do the same thing on the shield, and again I don't have it maxed out since the third bonus there is an attack, but I think it's good enough for this set right now. But if you can have it maxed out, it would be better for your set. And for the skill, of course, we will start with the Azure Swordman's memory Eugeo on the switch, and I already have it in limit break 5 times, so the damage is at 230% now, but I can still max it out to 10 more percent by increasing the level to level 90. And the next skill is this Samurai Soul client that will increase the attack by 19% for 25 seconds, and marked out that the skill name is Enhance Attack 2. And you have the Cool Strike Kirito that is an Enhanced Attack 1 that increased the attack by 17.7% for 20 seconds. So these 2 skills have quite a short buff duration, so that's why I have it on my first on the same set as the Eugeo skill, so that I will use it and then I can use the Eugeo skill afterward. Next one is this Cool Swordman's Kirito that will increase the critical rate by 20%, 20.5 for 20 seconds as well. So it will help me get the critical that I need to increase my damage. And next thing, let's take a look into the second set of passive sets. Actually, let's take a look into the armor set first. So it's the same deal. The armor, I'll just increase the defense bonus, and if you have a higher level armor, that will increase your defense even more, since this skill is depending on the higher defense that you have, so you will benefit from getting the latest armor that you can get for your level. So it's the same thing for the lower, for the pants, just maxed out your defense on them. And on the second set, for the active, I have this Static Argo that will have the Enhanced Defense 3. It will buff 9.5% defense for 55 seconds, so it's a longer durations buff, so that's why I can have it on the second set, so I can switch it back and forth. And it's the same thing with this one, the Pioneer Argo, but it increased the attack by 9.5% for 40 seconds, so it's a bit lower. Have it cast after the first one. And then we have the Spirited Leafa that enhanced defense 2. We'll increase the defense by 19% for 30 seconds, so it's a bit longer. And then we'll have this Diavel, the Valiant Guide Diavel, that will increase the defense by 7.7% for 25 seconds. Now all those attack and defense buff that we have are pretty good defense and attack buff, since it increases by quite a lot of number of percentage, and we don't really have anything that will increase the attack and defense by that much, even on the 3-star level skills. Now let's go back to the set that I have the Eugeo on, and take a look into the passive sets. And on the passive, these skills, the 4 skills, are the one that I have here. So my defense right now is only at 1600, but you can maximize the damage out with this, the Happy Time Leafa, which I also have a video on how it works. So this will increase the damage to enemy weak to slash by 22.8%, which will help greatly with the additional damage as well. And it's the same idea with the client, except for this one is on the element that will increase the damage by 23%. So it's maxed out the additional damage bonus as well in that sense. And next one is this Blast Lisbeth that will increase your defense by 46% when your HP is lower than 25%. So with this one, for sure, we're going to get our HP down below 25% to get the bonus. And since the skill relies on the defense, so this Blast Lisbeth will increase our damage quite significantly when you can get your HP lower than 25%. And since your HP is lower than 25%, we're also going to use this skill that will increase the critical damage by 26% when HP is under 50%. So now this skills, I'm not really sure if this one is better than any other attack increase skills, but for now I think it works. And increasing the damage by critical damage by 26% should help with increasing the critical damage from the additional damage that we have from the Azure Swordman's memory Eugeo skill as well. So then, and this one is slightly better than the Happy Companion Asuna, and since we don't have the Kirito skills to negate the negative effect, I think this skill is still better. So that's it for the setup on the skills, but other than the skill itself, we also need to rely on the skill that we put on Koharu. And the first skills that we have on Koharu, you're looking at, is this Majestic Line, because it has an enhanced defense 4 that will increase the defense by 14.1 for 15 seconds. So hopefully that Koharu will use this skill before we use the switch, so that we'll always also get this bonus. And notice that all of the enhanced defense that we have is the 1, 2, and 4, so it will stack up. And next is this Be Brave Sachi that will increase the critical damage by 15%. The same idea, if you have this one, then your critical damage will be increased even more. And then we have this Lively Sachi, which actually is not that useful if you have seen from my previous video, which I also link in the description below. And the key is this skill here actually. So this skill, the One Sachi, has effect that will increase the switch damage multiplies by 280% for 10 seconds. So if you have this one on the switch, to guarantee that the Koharu is also using this skill before we do the damage, and since the attack animation is really quick, so this skill will be applied first before we do the Eugeo. And what important on this one is that the damage multiplier increased by 280. Again, if you've seen my video on the previous my previous videos on the defense scaling, you must know that increasing the multiplier will increase the damage significantly. So that's why this skill is very important. So next is, we'll take a look into the weapon proficiency skills. For sure you'll have that sword training, and then this thing is also the important one, the Sword's Blow, that will increase your defense and attack by 5% after a switch, which actually applies to your damage before the switch as well. So don't increase that one, use that one. And then we also the basic stance is also a good one to increase the additional damage. And if you've noticed it on my previous video too, additional damage is increased with the weapon weakness and the elemental weakness too. So if you maxed out on all weapons, then you'll get a quite decent amount of damage increase. And next is this Full Strike, which is quite self-explanatory because it increases your slashing damage by 10%. And then another thing that's important is this Combinations, which is similar to the one with Sachi, even though it's lower effect, but it still going to give you a decent boost of damage on the Azure Swordman memory Eugeo, because it increased their damage multiplier, which will increase the additional damage that you get from the defense as well. So I don't have this maxed out to level 10 since I don't have enough memory crystals or memory release crystals, but if you can max it out, it will increase your damage by quite a bit more. The weapon knowledge is not a good one to increase because you'll get more attack. Basically, you get more damage. So if you can increase them all in all your weapons, then you'll get quite a decent amount of boost on the attack. And switch charge is not that useful. So another weapon proficiency skill that you can increase is the one on the shield. It has the one that is similar to the sword that when you use a switch, it increases or it gives you a defense boost. So definitely max out that one. And of course the one that will increase the defense by a certain percent, just like that last skill that I mentioned. So now that you have all the skills that you need to make that damage happen, let's dive into the actions. So first, get your HP down to below 25% and fill up your switch gauge, and then switch to the other set where you have all the buffs on and used up all the buffs by the order of the one that have the longer duration first to the one that has the lowest durations, and then switch back to the set one and do the same thing. You use the longer duration one and then the later one, and make sure when you're using the buff you're actually close to the boss so that Koharu can also use their skills or increase the chance for Koharu using all the skills that you need to use in there. And after that, use the Kirito skill last to increase the critical damage, and then use the switch. And if Koharu is using their one wish Sachi, then you'll be able to achieve this kind of damage that I'm showing you here. So that's it for the video. I think it's long enough that I don't need to put a summary at the end, since all this video is talking about is the summary on how you can do it. Have fun trying it out. Bye now.